a story that you may not have heard about. It's kind of broken in an odd circle, and I'm going to kind of bounce around a little bit trying to piece this together for you. But I guess Glenn Beck has sort of outed a lot of FreedomWorks controversy. He had been the first to discuss a Mitch McConnell meeting, closed-door meeting with other senators, where Mitch McConnell basically had all but called them traitors if they received money from FreedomWorks or Jim DeMent's Senate Conservative Fund. Now, pretty bold language. Of course, Mitch McConnell didn't waste any time to say, oh, no, I didn't say or imply any of those things. And he, of course, loves to point to the fact that he has Jesse Benton on his group. We know Jesse Benton, he's, from the Ron Paul family of things, but obviously has angered a lot of libertarians by being very much a GOP Republican first politician and not necessarily as open-minded to libertarianism. Well, it only got worse because John Cornyn, who has taken in one of the former FreedomWorks folks as part of his re-election campaign. But what Beck outed was an incredible behind-the-scenes story of a split in FreedomWorks after the 2012, where the GOP basically were trying to strong-arm themselves into control of this group and basically make it a arm of the Republican Party and not this grassroots Tea Party influence thing that supported candidates like Mike Lee and Ted Cruz. In fact, it's so much of a split that Dick Armey and many of these other folks were kicked out of the club. They're basically a big split. And FreedomWorks has really been struggling. Bob was just doing some research with me here. We're looking and we realized that they have got like $1 million line of credit. So there is a lot of financial difficulties going on there. So a lot of political drama on the right these days. So it'll be interesting to see, when John Cornyn comes on and he talks about that it creates, quote, Republican on Republican violence. That's some pretty radical words to use, especially headed into re-election time.
Yeah, I just think that the establishment Republicans, who really have no respect for the Constitution, are threatened by this group of people. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out, other than pure political purposes, as much as I like Rand Paul, I can't understand why he's joined at the hip with Mitch McConnell. I'd love to have him on the show and ask him about it sometime.
Yeah, and I've heard him speak on it just a little bit of how he disagrees with Mitch, but he is very, very, very respectful. He is very cautious to say things negative against Mitch. And from what I understand, though, Mitch and Cornyn, they control the purse strings. If you're not in bed with the two of them, man, you're not getting money through the GOP. Cornyn, they say, I was doing some research on Cornyn, we're talking like $8 million. It is very difficult to take down somebody who has $8 million because of the amount of media manipulation that buys.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I fear in South Carolina too, because
Lindsey Graham.
You may have all these great candidates going up against Lindsey Graham, but he's got the bankroll.
Yeah, it'll be good though. We'll see. And the part of the politics, folks, that's very influential is that primary factor. We don't pay enough attention to that because that really is where sometimes a lot of the money is not spent, and you see someone like Ted Cruz come in, you see Mike Lee's come in. So that's why there's been so much emphasis. I know we've put a lot of emphasis on the other candidates running against Lindsey Graham in hopes that actually happens.